All right, we're going to continue on question 1 here. It's a long question, I know it is. Please bear with me. So, D, which model is best for this data? Can you tell using the graph? All right, so we can look at our graph here. It should be fairly obvious which one's the best one. We're going to say that exponential is the best. And we know this because the graph passes through every dot. I'll say through all dots. And how can we tell what model is the best using the R value? So this, we've got to look at our R values. We want to know which R value is the closest to 1 or which R value is the closest to a -1. So you can see here that obviously 1 is closer to 1 than 0.89. So once again, exponential. And we know this because the R value is closest or closer to 1. Right. So once again, we know it's by the graph for question D because it passes through more points. And then in question E, we know it's exponential once again because my R value is closer to 1. All right, question F, the current North American population is approximately 470 million. Use the best model to determine how long until the zombies overrun North America. So this means that we want to know when our equation right here, so when we're going to have more than 470 million zombies. A best way to do this is probably going to be to use our table. So let's bring our calculator back. Okay. We are going to go to the table, which is second graph. So second graph. And remember, our exponential equation is in y2. So we want to check for this column and see when this column is more than 470 million. So let's scroll down a bunch. We can keep scrolling. Okay, so we now get this e to the 6. Remember, e to the 6 is scientific notation. So since we got to look for that, let's turn 470 million into scientific notation. Turn the paper up a little bit. There we go. So 470 million is going to equal, we're going to take this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It'll be 4.7 times 10 to the 8th. So since I moved the decimal 8 spots to get it right there. So we are looking for a number that is bigger than 4.7 E8. So let's keep looking until we get to the E8s. Okay, we finally got to the E8s, but we're only at 1, 2, 3, and we want to be at 4.7. All right, so finally at 50, we are bigger than 4.7 E8, or 4.7 times 10 to the 8th power. So my answer for this one is 50 days. Question G. The current world population is approximately 7 billion. Use the best model to determine how long until the zombies overrun the world. All right, so let's turn 7 billion into scientific notation. All right, I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I'll get 7 times 10 to the 9th. So once again, we have to find a number that's bigger than 7E9. So let's keep scrolling. All right, we start with our E9s, but we need a number that's bigger than 7. So scrolling it, and I finally have 7.57 e to the ninth, which is bigger than 7 times 10 to the ninth. So that would be 58 days. All right, by what percent are the zombies increasing every year? Show how you know this. All right, so first of all, we're going to cross out this word year and write day, okay, because we're working in days here. So we want to know by what percent are the zombies increasing every day. So if you remember, we want to look at our growth ratio for this. What is our growth ratio for this equation? Our growth ratio is right here, 1.41. So we're going to take the 1.41 and we need to turn that into a percent. Because remember, my question here says by what percent. So if I turn it into percent, I've got to move my decimal over 2 spots. So that's going to equal 141%. But it's not increasing by that 141% because we started with 100 and it's increasing by what's more than 100. So I'm going to subtract 100% and it would be increasing by 41%. Okay. Let me raise that up a little bit. So I move my decimal over 2 spots. I get 141%. I subtract the initial 100 that we started with, and I'm left with an increase of 41%. All right, excellent job. We still haven't done anything on Socrative yet, but go ahead and turn over the paper, and then we'll start doing that one, and it will be all Socrative.